Can you hear me now? Here we go. I don't think this will be a good place, a good starting point. There we go. Okay. Still nothing with the chat. So I don't know what is going on. Let's see. Maybe I didn't do a great job lining things up. Okay, there we go. We're a smidge early. I don't know how long my phone is going to last. I am going to certainly wait until that's going to be annoying. At the flaps. Great. Great. I don't know what I'm going to do about this. There. Okay. What do they say when somebody's doing stand-up or on a TV show? They'll tell a person like, "Hey, you gotta keep it going, keep it going." What is that? There's a certain word that they use. Ah, that's gonna eat me alive. What the heck is it? It's not jam. It's not jamming. Oh, geez, come on. What is that? They tell the person, keep going, keep going. Riff? Is that what it is? Riff? No. Did I already say this? I'm so bad at promoting these Thursday night playtests. I tell myself every week, okay, remember, an hour or two before, you have to post a video about that you're going to go live on Thursday. And then you know what happens? I don't go live on Thursday. I mean, I forget to post about going live on Thursday. Very annoying. Very annoying. I don't know how long my phone will last. I know I already said that. Bloop, 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 bloop. Yeah, I have to do a much better job of promoting the thing. Wow, that was a very loud bat that was outside. 5 minutes, where are we at? Still not 10 o'clock. Why is this not? Okay, that looks good. You can see the hay, see the board, see all that. See the numbers, see the V's. Look good. Where are we at on time? 1 more minute, and then we begin. I don't know if I should wait. I don't know what I should do. Somebody popped on. I should have probably sold. I'm terrible at selling. I'm a bad salesman. What can I say? Anyway, my mother had a procedure today. Now, I live out in the middle of nowhere. I've said that before. I'm saying it again. Out in the middle of nowhere. The closest, I can't call it a major city, but for what it is around here, city, an hour away. And this major city has nothing. Come back. The funny thing about these outings, you say, I had a long day today. What did you actually do? You didn't really do anything, right? You just, oh gosh, what was today? Oh, it was a long day. What'd you do? Oh, my mother had a procedure. Well, what'd you do? Oh, I sat in the meeting room. That's not a long day. You didn't do anything. You didn't do anything the whole day. But you go around and you say, I had a long day. Got a long day tomorrow of waiting. Literally doing nothing. I got a long day of doing nothing. Anyway, long days. I think this is what's going to happen. I'm going to wait. I'm going to give it 10 minutes. And if nobody's popping on here, what's the point of doing this? Is there a point? Do I do it anyway? It seems as though each week I poorly plan my advertising. Do I sit here and play multiplayer by myself? I don't know. I guess I could play single player. Then somebody pops on. What's the system here? I play single player until people arrive, and then I stop. Come back. Do I make a short video? Do I then put it out there? Wait for people to pop on? I don't know. Maybe I pop off. Maybe I'm sick of the pop on. No more popping on. Pop on. What am I doing here? Scroll through TikTok. Scroll through YouTube. Scroll through Instagram. Scroll. You see so much stuff being pumped out all the time. So much stuff being pumped out. And yeah, do I want to be a part of the machine? Do I want to be another pumper? Hey, there we go. Person. Let's go. Oh, gone. Anyway, so you're pumping. You want to pump? You want to be a part of the pumping machine? And you pump out. And that's all you do. The whole machine. It's just a pumping machine. You don't even actually pump anything out. It's nothing. The point of the machine is for others to pump. That's the whole thing. Anyway. So we had two people. We've had two people. I mean, geez. What's going on here? Lately, I've been thinking, wow, I'm a really bad businessman. Really bad businessman. Don't get the product out. Can't promote. I guess I do promote, though. I do something. Something's getting done. You know what's terrible about. So I went out today, had a couple conversations, talked with another person. I said something, then they said something back. I wasn't talking about myself, nor were they necessarily talking about themselves, but we were talking about something. Hey, person, yes, let's go. Okay, no more monologuing. I've got the live chat on. So hopefully it works. And we can make this thing happen. And I'm telling you right now, I keep clicking it. Are you sending a message? See, that's the problem here. I don't know. I think the stream should be good. Everything should be all together. Is it happening? Top chats. Okay, I'll click top chats. Nothing. Clicking live chats. Nothing. And I know you're saying something. I definitely know you're saying something. You're typing away right now. I'm feeling it. And I'm getting nothing on this end. Nothing at all. What's happening? Okay, that was pretty weird. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community. Okay, cool. Live chat. What's going on? What's happening? Well, this is it. There we go. We're back. Let me try something here. This feels like a. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Freaking Verizon. Now, I don't know if you're sending something to me. Now give it a shot. Am I able to type something? Okay. This is friggin' ridiculous. I have truly no idea what's going on. Chat hidden. Okay. What do I do? What do we do? What happens at this point? Come to an impasse. Flash, touch, create highlight, lighting. Close. I really don't get it. I'm not understanding. By golly. Okay. Click over there. Dude, what the heck? Okay, now I can't even, it won't let me even click on the chat. This is disheartening. What do I do? Hey, another person. That's friggin' awesome. I wish the nope, no, too bad. What's the situation here? I'm gonna click camera. Whoa, what happened? Some messages, such as potential spam, may not be visible. All messages are visible. Right. That's what we want. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. I mean, it keeps telling me that. It just keeps saying that. And this whole plan becomes ineffective if people can't chat. Unless this is something. I don't know. Three people. This is friggin' awesome. It's too bad the chat isn't working for whatever reason. I mean, this is very disappointing. What do we do? This feels like a Discord situation, where you then go over there. Yeah, oh, back to one. But at least we've got one. And we had three. Two. That's cool. Rocking out with two. So there's nothing to be done. I mean, it's just like I'm gonna sit here and I don't know. We have two people. Two. This could be a full 3-person match right here. And I've been practicing, so you probably stand no chance. That's right. I said it. Hide live video. No, well, we don't want to do that. Are you guys playing a cruel joke on me right now where I think that you're messaging me, but you're not messaging me at all? So I think that the chat isn't working, but really the chat is just fine and you guys aren't messaging? Is that what's happening? Is that what you're doing to me? Think this is funny? I've been watching so much Seinfeld. It's a problem. It's a problem. But it's so funny. I mean, Larry David is definitely hilarious. I'm really upset. And what do we do? What do I do here? What do we do? Exact same thing that happened last time. Okay, hold on. Stay with me for one moment. I'm going to click the Learn More button and try and learn more and see what happens. I learned nothing. I learned nothing at all. Okay. I guess I'm going to go. I don't know. Wow. Oh, yeah. Borrow the. Well, you can borrow to sleep. It doesn't change how hot it is. A sauna up there. Well, if it's another disaster, then craziness. Just crazy. I watch a lot less now, but I used to watch so many of those motivation whatevers. Alex Hormozy's a big one. I really don't watch so much anymore. But this is my problem. This is my problem with those people. And it's my question to them is always, what? Okay, so I could work really hard. I can try my best. There's something in my ceiling. What the is on? Oh my Now I got that one. Okay. Whew. If you could feel how hot it was in here, by golly. And what else? If you go upstairs, there's like a equilibrium or heat equilibrium where you start to walk up, you're ascending up the stairs, and then at a certain point, I mean, it's like a line of heat. Coolish. It's not cool here. Hot. Okay. Hot down below, really hot on the second story. I ramble a lot. Maybe I get anxious and then it's just a mess. Don't know. But I'm glad that the chat is working now. Well, who knows if it's working, but at least we got, there we go. No sound. That's friggin' awesome. I'm happy about that. Okay, let's flip it around. Let's play this thing. Whoa, hello. Okay. Sound is fine now. Good deal. Why is it? Okay. So, you want to play multiplayer or should I just play single player mode? You tell me. Let me know. Okay, but wait a second here. I don't get it. Am I lagging? I guess there's going to be some slight lag, latency. I'll just play single player. It'll make life easier for all of us. I had this company called, well, it's not a company, called New Star Live or New Star, maybe it's just New Star. And it's this TikTok live influencer. I don't even know if that's the right word, influencer, but TikTok live agency. I think this is cool. Single player? I mean, multiplayer to single player. Okay. There we go. Anyway, so this TikTok agency contact me, have a couple messages, this, that, the other. You don't pay them, they don't pay you. And the whole thing is they help you set up a shop, help you, and I'm only not playing because I can't talk and play at the same time. They help you, or maybe help is the wrong word. They'll telling you what they think you could do better, how to keep the audience or the people watching. Audience seems kind of distant rather than not thinking about them as people. And so I guess people are making money on there. I don't really know how it works. There seems like a lot going on. But you get diamonds somehow. People are you. I don't know. Are they spending money to send you the diamonds, or are they somehow doing things they get coins somehow? I don't know. You watch TikTok, you get coins. I don't get how any of it works. It's interesting, kind of making it like a game. Two parts of this. One, they can help you with TikTok Shop. I don't know how often you're on TikTok, but it's just to me at this point I see it as okay. So there's some people that are doing the funny trending things, and then there are the rest of the people who are what is that? What is that channel where they QVC people just selling stuff on there? People are clearly making a lot of money doing stuff like selling computers, bidding, having other people bid on computers. So they help you set up the shop. They try and help you retain followers, I guess, to get the diamonds. Contacted me. Okay, let's talk about it. Try and do something. At one point, I was thinking, oh, maybe I could have toys, like cheap plushies, and I say cheap because to me it feels cheap, the whole thing. They got plushies, they got the squishy stuff, squishy balls, the slime, whatever. I've watched a couple of people selling just to see what they're doing. I thought maybe I could do that. And I was just repulsed by the whole idea. I thought, wow, like ashamed. Why would I even think of doing something like that? I don't know. I don't know how people are retaining. They told me, oh, some people just talk about their day, and who is managing to attract an audience just talking about a day? I don't know. But eventually here, currently I am working on getting Oglow, the body of Oglow together for a manufacturing assembly intended model. And I'm also working on the PCB or the motherboard for the toy or Oglow, so that I can eventually sell those. Where I'm not going to be able to get other people to assemble them. I just don't have the money. Nor do I really want to spend the money on that. And first, I have to learn a little bit more. How does that whole process work? So, what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to make videos of myself assembling the toys, post those so people know when it's happening. Hey, I just assembled 50 of these and I'm going to go live on TikTok, and then that'll be I don't know what you call it, advertising. hand assembled Oglos. That's the goal at this point. For Oglo, at least. A lot of stuff going on. You know, you watch the channel. Most of the time I think to myself, okay, I've got this person who watches the channel. I've got to upload. And at points, there have been a couple of times when I've stopped for a long period, right? You've commented, oh, where are you? What happened? Where'd you go? I think, yeah, you know, that person is there waiting for me to post, to do something, doing this army thing. And people on TikTok even will message me once in a while or message, hey, don't give up. Don't give up. I don't really have a whole lot of money and I have to doing this army thing. I don't know how I'm going to do it all. It's a little frightening. Chasing whatever this thing is. Okay. Let's play here. So, today, while I was at the doctor's office waiting for my mother to finish her procedure, I was playing MOOving Maze mobile game on my phone. At one point, I gave this game, the mobile version, to my brother, who is not a gamer, doesn't care. He's like a big, buff, muscular dude with skull tattoos on his arm. He played it. He played through, I want to say, 2 or 3 different levels. I think it was just the tutorial, and then he gave it back to me. He even finished the last level that he was on, the 3rd or 4th one. And of course, I'm saying, what do you think? How did you feel? This, that, the other. And this was an interesting comment that really, I mean, it made me angry because I get defensive about this stuff real fast. And he said, I don't get rewarded when I fail. That was interesting. I don't get rewarded when I fail. And I said to him, why should I reward you for failing? You went to the hay, you did it wrong. If anything, the failure is supposed to be a teacher for you. Okay, I did something wrong. I failed. Let's not do that again. Let's try something else. That was my argument for this. This is sort of a puzzle game. It's a maze. It's a puzzle. And I got defensive and I argued against it. And I said, okay, he's just not the play tester. He's not a good play tester to listen to, which sometimes you have to do. But he's not the only one that, and this is hard, in letting people play it and how do you gather the right information from a play tester? I had one other guy, I worked with him at Domino's, and he played the game, and I remember he did really bad. And this was in a slightly earlier version. He did very poorly. But he really wanted to fight through it. He said, yeah, this is pretty hard. I was expecting it to be a lot easier. And he really wanted to fight through it and keep going and keep going. And afterwards he said, yeah, it was hard. But he kept trying. And at some, I don't remember if he said, yeah, I would be willing to play it again. But I watched him and I said, that's the type of player that I would want for the game. It's really to figure it out and fight through it. Who's more likely to play the game? Somebody who wants to fight through it, or somebody that wants to, I mean, I'm making this so boring, and I apologize for that. Somebody who wants to fight through the game, I should do more hand stuff. Wow. Somebody who wants to fight through the game, somebody who wants to be rewarded for failure. I mean, that's a crazy concept to me. This game, though, this way, I think this can reward failure. And it can reward failure without and it doesn't necessarily reward the failure. It's just that something is happening on the screen, and I've become relatively jaded at this point by, again, the mean comments they get to me. So many games that do really well, like Candy Crush or um, Clash of Clans, or what's another big one? Angry Birds. They use these gambling mechanics. And people like those games. And I don't know if they know that they like the gambling mechanics. And I've played them and I like those games. And I like the gambling mechanics. And I think this has that without it being that. And I understood, this goes into that my brother's comments. I want to be rewarded for failure. Very interesting. It's that the mobile game, how I had it, is a little too straightforward. It is just solve the maze. That's it. And it's a little too honest. And I've been doing research on these gambling mechanics. And so with slot machines, if you and I've never played a slot machine before, but from what I was reading, let's say 777 is what you're looking for. You pull the lever and it'll give you 77 often. It might give you 7, symbol, but often it's giving you 7 symbol to make you feel like, oh, I was so close. That I got 2 7s. I bet you if I just did it a couple more times, I could get all 3 7s. And this article was talking about that feeling of, oh my gosh, I was so close. This has that rewarding factor in it. It has that unexpected rewarding factor because of these, because you get these power ups, because hay moves, because you get power ups over here. And, the failure happens, the rewarded failure happens where I might be here and I can move and then get something, even though I made a bad move. I get this. I get a jump. I don't know if I'm making myself clear, but I'm thinking that this will elevate what the mobile game is, to have that sort of action packed. At every turn, I'm getting something. Let's see how it goes. So we're going to go with 3. Okay, 2 to the right. Four to jump. 2 to the right. Okay, 4, 5. Oh yeah, 2 to the right. Okay. 4, 5. Well, there's a barrier there, so I can't jump over. 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. Okay, got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, did I mess up? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I don't think I did. But I did mess up here because now it's... I should probably do a plus. Plus. Somebody a couple days ago on one of the videos, I said, he gave me a thumbs down. That made me so angry. When I was asking, oh, does this still seem complicated? Gave me a thumbs down. I'm like, I don't know what to do with the thumbs down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 plus 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are you joking with me? Okay, we're going to do this just for the sake of the whole comment of you fail, but then you might get something for it. So, either way, I'm not going to be able to. Well, wait a second. Hold on. 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I go there, then I have to turn it. No. That doesn't work, does it? I've got a yellow here and a yellow there. So that's something to look out for that I did poorly. Okay, for the sake of... This is no good. So this actually needed to be... See, I'm thinking the problem here is if I land there... Oh, wait. Okay. Doesn't apply to that. Forget that. 4, 5. Oh no. Oh yes. 180-degree turn. There. There. We got a 1. Boom. Okay, short game. A little questionable. Let's see here. Maybe that just so happened to be an easy game. What the heck? We'll start over here again. Is that where we started before? I don't know. I was very happy that somebody commented on one of the videos. This looks more appropriate as a... This looks more appropriate as a mobile game. which this looks more appropriate as a mobile game. Interesting way of saying it. Why does it look more appropriate? Interesting way of saying that. Looks more appropriate, but nevertheless, excited that he said that, because I was like, it just so happens that it is a mobile game. I mean, it's not out yet, but it's a mobile game, which is cool. So it does fit into that. Somebody else felt, okay, this definitely seems to be in that realm. It's exciting. But I wasn't really getting anybody following me from the mobile game. Just that mobile and saturated. There are a lot of board games coming out as well, but I think that the board game is kind of a little bit more curious and interesting. Has maybe a little bit more visual. Well, I guess the video games have visual. I don't know. When I post about the board game, I'm getting follows. The video game, don't really get too much action. Let's see. One, two, three versus 1, 2, 3. Okay. One, two, three. One, two, three. Okay, maybe this is a little too easy. 1, 2. Oh no. 3. So 180. 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3 to the right. And then 180 on yellow. 1, 2. I get 1, 2. So I could go 1, 2, and then get a jump, or I can go 1, 2, get 3. I want to consider here. How do we break the game? Okay, I think I figured out a problem here. I get 2. 1, 2. 3 and 180. 1, 2, 3. Rotate this 180. 1, 1, 1, 1. 1, 2, 3. 180. 1, 1. So 1, 2, 1, 2. 3 yellow, 180. 1, 2, 3. 2. 1, 180 on yellow. Oh, and 3. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 1. 1, 2. So that was questionable, right? So do we say that that was a smart play on my part, or are we saying that's poor game design? Are we saying that that needs to be changed? I don't know. How did I feel while playing that? Maybe it was a smidge boring, but I was also kind of proud of myself there for figuring out that I broke the game. That was my strategy. My strategy was back and forth, and it was not me moving, but moving the hay. Seems like an interesting, somewhat radical idea. Probably should take note of that. And I don't have a pen or a piece of paper. Okay. What do I say? What do I say there? Broke game. Okay. Wow. Well, that was very curious. And you know what? That totally broke the whole thing. I don't know. Hmm. Interesting. That was very, very, very interesting. If I was here again, 1, 2, 3, then I move it to the R. Then I go 1, 2, and then I do it again. And look at this. There's a space right here and a space right here. So I could do that again. And I could just make that my whole play. And I don't even have to really play the game anymore. Curious. That's me starting at this edge, the corner. And it doesn't matter which side I do. Well, it does. No, it doesn't. Because come on. Okay. If I'm here though, Now, the problem already is that it's going to require a very specific setup, which the player should not have to think about all that much. I'm going to put it here just for make it a little faster. Okay, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. 3 to the right. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Right is different from here to here. So maybe that other game doesn't work. Okay, so this says 3R, 3 to the right. I'm here. 1, 1. No. 3R is 1, 2, 3. I got the 1, the plus 1. 1. Oh, wait a second. It's also a 180-degree turn on yellow. Okay, so that does make a difference, but that's not our problem. The problem is here, supposedly, which might not actually be a problem. So I go 1, 2, 3. 3R. 1, 2, 3. 180 for yellow. 1, 2. Now I'm going to say I got 1 and 1, so I go forward and back. But what I was doing before, from what perspective now, is right. So when the hay was over here, right was this way and left was that way. But now on this axis, right, how am I doing this? Is this axis, am I looking at this axis like this? Because if I'm looking at that axis like this, then that means that it's right. You see what I'm saying? This is a little odd. If I turn it like this, then yes, this down is to the right. But if I turn it like this, then that is right. So, saying right is very confusing because depending on how you look at the side, depending on how you look at this side, Okay, this is why to me right feels like up, because of the position of the symbols. Now, if I had all these flipped around the other way, like this jump was like this, then I would be, see, I have to turn this way for these to be right side up. So that's why this feels like it's right. If these symbols were flipped like this symbol is, and I had to turn it like that, then right would feel like that. That's very interesting. Right now, with how all of these symbols are, it doesn't really establish a down where the downside should be. Well, I guess I did that so that when it's like a family, yeah, but somebody's still gonna be faced with it. Huh. The point is, before when I was saying 3R, I kept saying, oh well, it was right, 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 but this going downwards isn't right. Ha, that was a little confusing. 3R. So before I was saying, oh, I'm just going to move it down there. Look at how easy. But really, now it's 3R. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Up, down. Okay. 3R. 1, 2, 3. Okay, then I move again. Duh, duh. It's not down. I have to look at the board like this. 1, 2, 3. And that, in doing that, prevents whatever happened before, because now I can't just go, oh, because then we end in this endless loop of going like that. I guess the problem is that I myself got a little confused there. So if I'm getting confused, when did somebody else get confused? Should I put arrows here? But that's going to be extra confusing. If I have the 3, I have a 3, and then some arrows pointing this way, and arrows pointing that way. Why do I have these facing inwards, though? I have these facing that way. Okay, this is... Let's see. R, L. And then I've got R and L. R L, and I've got R, and I've got L. Can you go away? By golly, please stop. Dude, you're disrupting me. So this is pretty interesting here. We've got a bit of a pattern. RL, LR, RR, LL. So you can create this situation where at the corners it. Oh boy. That is something to contemplate. Down L to the right R, so. Those prevent players from. So if you're on this edge and you get R, you can, you could potentially spam back and forth and go right, 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 and get it all the way to the edge and around the corner. But right when you get it around this corner, right brings you back. And then left will get you left, 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 and then bring you back. But if these, oh boy, oh boy. But if this was flipped over here, LR. So depending on how you have these set up, it sets up these different patterns. So if you had this, yeah, it's not certainly not seemingly attractive to most people. You're right about that. I have done the drawing in the past, but I was hoping that I could get people on here that like we would play the multiplayer. You would be able to give me these coordinates 5, or 1 1, and then I would know, oh, you want to move there, or you would give me 4 4, and I would say, okay, 4 4, boom. And the goal was to get multiple people on the live stream giving their coordinates, and they would be the various players. I don't know, maybe I need to express that better in some shorts, and also actually advertise that I'm doing these, which I have not been very good at. Yeah. I don't know. I don't feel like the chaotic guy. Don't feel like the chaotic guy. But this playtest here was, at least for the game, pretty solid, because this is very interesting. This whole situation of do you go right, which way is right, which way is left, depending on your perspective, and adjusting that. So as I'm facing out, well, that one's facing in and that one's facing in, I see. Oh, nice. So it's telling me, because this is first player, this is the bottom. Oh, I did a good job there. Very interesting. Yeah, but you're right. I mean, definitely not really pulling much attention here. Maybe this setup needs to be better as well. It's a little lame right now. It's a little hard to see. I'm hoping that I can start to work on the cube version, the updated version of this. Okay, I'm going to call it for this. This was a very good playthrough, and I think we learned a lot here. Ooh. But yeah, a little slow. I mean, I don't know. Is the slow thing is unappealing? I thought the playtesting would be interesting. If I could get people to play. I had Caveman, another subscriber, play, which was cool, and we had fun doing it. I think I have to advertise and have this whole setup better, or I'd like to think that. I'd like to think that. Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. If you think I'm wrong. I don't know how to be chaotic. I don't know how to do the chaotic thing. But I respect the chaotic thing, because I definitely can't do it. What is this? No. people playing video games and screaming. Ah! The for when I was doing the title card. Yeah, that was okay. I didn't think I was getting a lot of people then. Maybe I was though. I think that one of those has 17 views. It's pretty ridiculous that I'm getting rid of all of that though, or at least changing the theme. Be more chaotic. There's just a stillness to the whole thing. You know, again, I was shooting to have people give the presentation is poor, right? I'm not expressing that enough. What do you want to watch when you're on YouTube? Huh. What do I watch? What do I want to watch when I'm on YouTube? I think most of my time on YouTube is spent, a majority of it is spent listening to music. And I think that's most of it is listening to music. I think once in a while, something listening to music. At one point, I was watching a lot of documentaries. Um, there was this guy. I think I'm also listening to a lot of people talk. Maybe listening to a game design lecture of sorts, people talking. There was this neurosurgeon who has gone viral a couple of times, and he's outside in nature just talking about something. I think I watch relatively boring stuff and it's not very chaotic. Alex Hormozy, watch a business dude. I used to watch quite a bit of him, but again, it was a lot of just talking, maybe doing some math and talking about margins. I've heard of Mr. Beast. I've literally never watched a video. I Show Speed. I only know of him through other things like advertisements. I have never watched a video. I have no idea what he does or what he's popular for. Through osmosis, I'm hearing of other people, and or this clippers clipping their something, and that seeing them screaming and yelling and going, "Wow, that's a lot of energy! Holy moly!" It's boring stuff. The last thing I watched on YouTube was an opera. I mean, it's like really lame, really lame. Pagliacci was the name of the opera. So, yeah, the chaotic thing. I just don't have that in me, and I don't even watch that type of stuff. And even if I were to attract that type of crowd, I don't think they would be particularly interested in whatever it is I'm making. Like the things these things that I'm making seem to be a little slower. My dad has said that I'm guilty of that I make a lot of all my stuff is very soft and it's not loud and punchy. And he's always saying, "Hey, everything seems to be loud and punchy. Why don't you do loud and punchy? It's got to be loud and punchy, right?" Yeah, I don't do the loud and punchy. I think I've tried. There were those weird videos that I was doing a while ago where I was like blowing into a trumpet and then reading something out of a dictionary and I don't know, drawing a picture or something. And I was trying to do what I usually do by myself, but in a chaotic way. I don't think it really caught on. I guess I should probably definitely link up with that live TikTok agency, and maybe they could help me get a little bit more chaotic. Yeah, but the stuff that I'm watching is really boring, and I'm very not even listening. I mean, watching too much. Don't know. It may be that I need to. Yeah, it's hard. I don't wanna stray too far away from whatever it is that's going on. The shorts have been working for me lately. I have to keep pumping those out, and I don't know. Okay, one reason why I was trying to do it this way, where I had people where I'm playing and people are saying the coordinates, and then I'm playing with them, is it's my attempt at doing Slay the Spires. Devs talked about having a Discord, and then play testers were play testing, and in real time they would say, "Hey, there's this bug," or "Let's make this change," and then they would code the change it right there, update it, have the players play test it, and from there, that was how they were building the community and having people play test. And I was trying to simulate that here. I don't know how to code, so I can't make live updates. But I was hoping maybe I could make the live updates with board game. And there's no advertisement. Or maybe there is. Am I advertising enough? The whole that it's on Thursday. Very interesting. But I'm going to take what you're saying here into consideration of the chaotic. I don't necessarily know if I can do that, if I can be that. But I am understanding the lack of visual appeal, that most of the video is okay, here it is, and you were just sitting there looking at this blank, not moving object. Definitely not fun. Somehow I have to curate the playtest zone to be punchier, more interesting. The setup has to be punchier, like you're saying. It- Maybe somehow I can turn the static setup into something that is interesting and visually appealing. Somehow have lights, get some sounds in the background. The DJs, they have they'll touch a button and it'll make some sort of a funky sound. So have the some sort of a DJ set where it's making the crazy sounds. Have some lights there, because it would be cool if I land on a space, I click, and I have to turn the yellow 4x4, and I click the yellow button, and then the whole board lights up yellow, or the screen lights up yellow, something like that. I see what you're saying, though. I totally understand. And that it needs to have a little bit more visual appeal. I mean, it's supposed to be live entertainment. So where's the entertainment? Well, maybe it doesn't have to be entertainment though. Look at this freaking Star Talk. Okay, I will check out Star Talk. I'm guessing it's a YouTube thing, YouTube like podcast show, whatnot. Yeah, I had some guy on TikTok. It was really funny, and I can never tell how seriously I'm supposed to take these things. But he says, "Oh, it was for the Oglow app." He said the toy looks cool, the app looks terrible, and I said you got to start somewhere. And then he said back to me, "How many times are you going to start?" Getting roasted on TikTok like crazy, getting absolutely roasted. I have to carry a fire extinguisher next to me to put myself out because of how bad people like to rip me a new one. But sometimes we're talking about, oh, make this thing more entertaining. And I say, yeah, okay, I got that. And I tell myself, okay, we got to just starting out. How many times are you going to start? I don't know. It's like some ridiculous, ridiculous something or other. It would be cool if, I don't know. I don't know. But what I'll say is maybe next time I can try and get some lights together and make it flash, and that will be pretty lame. But here I am. I'm gonna say it. You can roast me. Got to start somewhere. Yeah. How long have I been doing this channel though? It was so much better when I was living in the basement of Domino's. That was interesting. I loved living in the basement of Domino's. That was so much fun. That basement got flooded. like a month after I left. That was fun and it was cool and it was super weird. And I could never get Caroline together, but that would have been cool too if I could have gotten Caroline together. Although I think I'm going to change that as well. Right. Interesting for sure. It was super weird and super cool. A while ago, I tried to do something similar where I was going to backpack to New York and to the city and then live and try and recreate that whole thing. But, 8 miles in, I was like, well, there's no way I'm going to make it to the city, by golly. And I remember I tried to live stream. Okay, and I'm talking in the backwoods. I know I'm always saying that. I live in the backwoods, in the middle of nowhere. I'm walking, right? And I knew that the very quickly that the likelihood of me accomplishing this was going to be pretty much not. Because as I'm walking, I hear hooves behind me. And then I hear kind of like a rattling sound, and all of a sudden, coming past me, an Amish dude on top of his horse-drawn buggy, because there are a lot of Amish people that live just outside of my town. And I'm watching him go, and there are these huge hills that I made it 8 miles, like in a straight line, right? I made it 8 miles, but really, if you count the hills that I was going over, it was much, much more. Anyway, as I'm watching the horse struggle to go up the hill, and I'm carrying like a huge backpack, probably, I don't know, it had to have been 80 pounds. I'm thinking, there's no way I'm going to be able to make this. The other thing is, here in the country that I live in, there's this idea that country people are really friendly, and I don't know what country those people are living in, but the country people around here are definitely not friendly. Like, if I was to just pitch a tent, which I had a tent, and sleep on the side of the road, there was no way that was going to happen. But yeah, living in the basement of Domino's was really cool. I enjoyed that. I had so much fun. But then I got kicked out. So that didn't work out for very long because, well, I'm going to go get something to drink here. It's so hot in this house. People didn't want me there. What happened? I was there, and then there was this lady, my friend Turkon, who, so this store that I worked at Stony Brook, there was this guy who was the manager, and his name was Billy. And Billy was the owner's son. And the guy the owner. Yeah, there we go. Another viewer. Let's go. And so the guy who's managing it was the owner's son. And this guy who owned this particular Domino's owned 7 Domino's on Long Island. This dude definitely was making a lot of money. Anyway, so he has that. He's in the easiest store. He puts his son in the easiest store. His son is managing that store. And at some point, Turkon, this lady who'd been working there for like 10 years, I was posting those videos. And I remember that I always had the videos start with me opening the door and closing the door. Turkon says, "Oh, yeah, you and your YouTube," right in front of Billy. That was the guy's name. And I did one of these kind of like turn to Turk on one of these. Did you really just say that? Really? Why? And then Billy goes, YouTube? What YouTube? What are you talking about? And then I knew it was all over for me. The next day, because he knew I was staying in the basement every night. And then the next day, he comes and says, "Hey, I saw your thing. It's really cool." Or maybe he texted me. It's really cool, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Fake, the fake. He was trying to do the corporate thing. And he said, "Dude, you got to get out of here. You can't be or no. He said, you can stay, but you can't be posting those videos." And at the time, I was doing Caroline the Cow and trying to get that up and running. And I felt like the posting the videos is way more important. I mean, what am I supposed to do? And living in Long Island is insane. I remember I was looking up apartments and there were lots of houses there, and you could buy or you would rent a room, one room in a 5-bedroom house. And the room was $1,200, $1,200 to rent a room with 5 other people. That's Long Island. By golly. I said, Long Island is cool, but I'm not going to spend that money to live here. That's for sure. To live. And that's crazy to be doing that. That's insane. Some people they go to college, they get a job. From that job and living in a dorm, they go and they basically go and live in another dorm, which is one of these. Then they have the roommates. So painful. So painful. Now, there's no way that me talking like this is more interesting than the game. Is that true? Is the game that boring? The game can't be that boring. Oh, already did that. Or the game isn't boring, it's just visually unappealing when somebody has to think about it. Oh, he says it might be. Oh, wait, me talking is more interesting than the game? Yeah, okay. Wow. I don't know what to talk about. If there is something to talk about, I guess living in basement of Domino's. What else have I done? That's kind of wacky. What else have I done? That's wacky. That was pretty much maxing out on the wackiness. Building the toys and games, is that not wacky? Is that not silly? Is that not kind of ridiculous? What else? There's a squirrel. There's a squirrel in the ceiling, and it runs throughout this entire house. The wildlife here is ridiculous. I mean, politics do always get views. There's this guy, I never watch his videos, and I have no idea why it pops up on my feed. And the name is Big A. And the dude always talks about politics. I don't do the politics thing. But yeah, politics are big. I don't like the controversy that comes with it. And I guess the issue is with that you're talking about the politics, maybe not even because you care about the politics, but because you know that it gets a lot of views, right? You know it gets a lot of views. So then you do some outlandish thing, you say some outlandish thing or exaggerated. That way you can get more views. It's a good strategy. It's a good strategy. It's a good strategy. So I chose the wrong business, you know? Why am I making toys and games? What kind of silly why? I started making toys and games not even because I like making toys and games. Okay, so wackiness was I'm living at the time I'm 22 and I had dropped out of community college. I moved to Texas and I left Texas and I moved back up to New York State. And then I'm living on this girlfriend's parents' property that I had, and I bought this little pull behind camper. I had a Barry saxophone, and I sold that for about $5,000. And then I had bought this camper, small thing, and we had tried different things. I tried making a little indoor farm where we were growing sprouts, and I remember we bought these uh these shelves, these big plastic shelves, and we bought bags of uh sprouts, and we were growing so many sprouts, and we grew all these sprouts. I mean, so many sprouts. And after growing them, it was like, now what? Had not thought about the next move. Who do we sell these to? We had not planned much of it out. We got to the doing part, and then after the doing, we didn't know the marketing and advertising. It was really funny. Then we tried to make a YouTube channel about blowing stuff up. I said, you know, Mythbusters blew stuff up a lot. Why don't we just forget all the myth busting? Let's just blow things up. And I remember, okay, so I guess I have done a bunch of wacky things. We didn't, I don't know why we didn't just get the powder, whatever powder they use inside of firecrackers. I don't know why we didn't just try and buy the straight powder. Instead, we bought a bunch of those shotgun firecrackers where you light them and they're. We bought so many, like, boxes. And I just spent my days, I think I had a landscaping job at the time, and I spent my days cutting these little tiny firecrackers open and dumping the powder out. And I collected a big bag of it. And the whole thing was we were going to blow stuff up. So we bought a bunch of pumpkins and we were going to blow pumpkins up. And then we bought an unbelievable amount of hot glue and a couple pans. And I remember we had to open up all the windows at one point because we were like, oh my God, we can't be breathing in all these chemicals. And we would heat the pan up, put the hot glue in there, and we'd have a pot full of hot glue. And then we were trying to make a giant hot glue stick. So we had a bunch of little ones, melting that down. We bought a tube so that we could make a giant hot glue stick, and then we were going to put gunpowder. It wasn't gunpowder, whatever powder it was. We were going to pour the powder into it, and we were going to blow up the world's largest glue stick. Some nonsense. So talk about chaotic. That was the some of the wacky. Was that? Did politics come in there somewhere? I don't think so. That was all before living in the basement of a Domino's. Oh, it was why I was doing all of that and how I got into the wrong business with the toys and games, and then I'm making the toys and games. So I was doing the businesses, trying to, I mean, it's a joke. Me saying that I'm doing a business is a joke because I have no idea what I'm doing. And so we had tried those. There were other things that we tried. Oh, I got into a pyramid scheme at one point. That was pretty interesting down in Texas, and that didn't pan out well. I was very bad at that. I was a really bad salesman because I didn't sell anything. I didn't even know how to approach people and say, and I would go to these seminars regularly. This guy would come and pick me up, and I go and try and learn, and they try and say, hey, here's the script, here's the lines, this is what you say. Couldn't do it. We tried all these different things, and I'm living in that camper, and I watched this channel, and this was years ago at this point, over 5 years ago, called Invent Right. And their whole thing was, we'll help you invent things. Because when I was in Texas, when I was 20, I came up with this idea called the kitty curtain, and I made this funny prototype. And it was a tube full of crinkly material. And because we had this orange cat who was just so annoying. And he would jump up on the counter. I think there were cockroaches, and he was chasing after the cockroaches. But my girlfriend at the time was so upset with it jumping up. And I thought of this thing. Okay, the kitty curtain, that's great. You put it on the table, and then you pull it out, and it becomes this curtain that you can stretch around your kitchen countertop, and it's crinkly. And when the cat jumps up, because I was watching the cat judge, they really study how much it takes to jump up onto the counter. They wiggle their butt, and then they're really focused, and they launch themselves. And I thought, well, if I mess with the judgment, so they think it's a lot taller, or they can't really tell what's going on, then it might prevent them from jumping, or maybe they'll hit this, it'll crinkle, and then they won't do it anymore. That's where a lot of this started. I built that, and it was a lot of fun, the kitty curtain. But I didn't know what to do with it. I built the whole thing. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Moved forward. It found Invent Right. I had been inventing these things, and at some point said, okay, this is cool. I'll do that. And one of the guys on there, I don't know what his name is, Steven or something. He said, oh, I got my start as a toy inventor. And the problem with him saying this is I took it too literally. I was a little too honest, or naive. That's the right word. I was too naive in what was actually going on. This guy wasn't really inventing toys. It's more of the licensing is, and when you dive deeper in, I mean, I've had several brokers. The toy business is pretty despicable place. It's really about licensing agreements. It's about this dude did this thing where he got, I think he licensed Michael Jordan or something like that. He licensed Michael Jordan, and then he took the idea that was around, like a Nerf hoop with a little Nerf ball. It wasn't Nerf, whatever it was. Take Nerf, take this little tiny hoop and a Nerf ball and Michael Jordan and slap those two together. So I'll buy the licensing for the name of Michael Jordan, and then maybe I'll buy the licensing for this hoop thing, which probably doesn't require a license. But I own this Michael Jordan name license, and now I'm going to put that on this hoop, and I'm going to call it the Michael Jordan hoop. And you take that, you send it to a company, and they'll say they're essentially buying the bought you bought the license, you bought the right, and they're pretty much buying that from you. And toy companies really like things to be themed. Like I had Oglo. Oglo went viral several times over. I've got 4 million views. Had a meeting with Spin Master. Just recently had Play Monster contact me and say, "Hey, have you?" The CEO of Play Monster contact me and say, "Hey, have you licensed this to a games company?" And I said no. Anyway, theme is a really big deal, and that's why licensing is really important for the toys, because they just want to manufacture and market. And a big piece of the marketing is knowing your audience. So if you can get a licensing agreement for an intellectual property that already exists, then you already know the audience. Who's the audience for Michael Jordan? I don't, who's the audience for a Michael Jordan little basketball hoop? I know people in their 30s that buy things like that. But let's just say it's like a 8-year-old boy. An 8-year-old boy, and however granular you want to get with that. You know who you're selling to, you know who it's going to go towards. It's all set up. Where was I going with this? Anyway, so that InventRight guy. That InventRight guy in his YouTube videos convinced me, oh, it's easy to do this. It's easy to make the toys and games, because he kept saying that. This is the easiest industry to get into. And so that started it off, because I just wanted to license something, make some money off of it, and then be able to cruise the rest of my life. I thought, okay, this will be cool. I'll make a little thing. I don't need too much. And then from there, whatever money I can get, I could probably live off of those residuals for a long time. It started with the naivety of this is easy, to trying to do it, to then trying to do it for years. And now here we are. And the problem is, it was never about inventing. It was about being a middleman and selling. It's kind of a rough, it's sad to think that it's supposed to be, you think it's one thing, you're pretty honest and sincere about it. It's not like that at all. So maybe I went into the wrong business. That could be. Are board games interesting? Are people interested in the board games? People are definitely interested in the board games. People are definitely interested in board games. I think it's just the live that it's not so interesting here. There are these people that pop up in the shorts. I don't click on their videos. It's a guy and a girl. I imagine they're married. And they play these games. And some of them are getting 100-something million views. It's wild. Wild. I don't know. Maybe the lives are just not the place to be doing that. I think I'm probably going to be a stubborn ass about this and keep doing it, though. Is that wrong? I mean, I want it to be interesting playing the board game. Maybe if there were other people here, that could also be a little bit more interesting. But I guess I was trying to get other people to come in and play the board game. And do you get a sense of that? I'm telling you, I had somebody play Caveman, the subscriber. Yeah. Maybe I should just start making yelling videos. Will that be chaotic? Got me crazed with the chaotic thing now. Crazed with the chaotic thing. Or maybe I just need to find a Domino's that will let me live in it. Hi, can I live in your basement? That was so... I lived in a pizza shop. In the basement of a pizza shop for a summer. I would make myself a pizza every day. That was what I ate. I didn't pay for it. I was totally throwing whatever on there. Wow, so much. I just took total advantage of that place. This is a funny story. I was working in this other Domino's before living in the basement of that particular Domino's on Long Island. One night, I was coming home, and I lived at this point. I lived on one end of the block was my apartment, and on the other end of the block was the Domino's that I was working at. One night I'm walking home, and I'm living in. It's not like I can say it's the hood, but it's more like just a rundown. I think that squirrel is back. Just a rundown little area. And I'm walking down the street, and there's this guy, and he looks like he's walking right at me. Or maybe that's not what happened. Maybe he was coming from behind me. Whatever. We somehow intersect. And he says, "Hey, what do you got there?" Like a pizza. Because they're throwing pizzas away all the time. Either somebody orders and forgets, or somebody prank calls and you make it, or somebody messes up the order. Oh, we didn't want mushrooms on this, and you put mushrooms on it, so pizzas would stack up. So I'm taking one home, and I had some breadsticks, bread twists. I walk out. This guy says, "What you got?" I say, "I got a pizza, and I got these breadsticks." And he says, "Hey, my girlfriend told me to come out and get food. All the places are closed." I'm like, there's a Wendy's right over here. I'm like, "What about the Wendy's?" And he says, "Well, I don't have a car, and only the drive-through is open." And I went to the drive-through, and they said that they wouldn't serve me unless I had a car, which is kind of funny. He said, "So I need something. My roommate and my girlfriend gave me money, so if I come back empty-handed, it's not going to be pleasant. I'll give you $20 for that pizza." It was awesome. So I'm like, $20 for this pizza? Wow. I think we had a back and forth though. He said, "What do you got in the box?" I said, I'll pay for a pizza. I'll give you money for it." "Well, what kind of pizza is it?" "Well, how much money do you have?" "Well, what kind of pizza is it?" "Well, how much money do you have?" "Well, what kind of pizza is it?" "I'll tell you what kind of pizza it is when you tell me how much money you have." Because I didn't want to give away my. I mean, that was my bidding power right there. That was it. Want, and then I lost it all. I needed to get the money first. I think he gave me $20 for the pizza, and I want to say he was for these breadsticks or these bread twists. I want to say he was going to offer me another $20. I think he was. I remember being totally shocked. Like this, I get it. Your girlfriend's going to be angry, but this is. Wouldn't you be more upset that you paid $50 for an $8? Anyway, I sold the pizza, black market pizza. I remember calling my dad and saying, "Dad, I think I just figured out like an amazing business plan, which is I'm going to make sure that there's a messed up pizza every night and try and sell that thing on the street." This is pretty interesting. This is my first serious interaction with a drug addict on the street. It was the middle of winter, and this guy was picking bottles out of the trash can, and he was sweating bullets. And it was Father's Day. Wait, when's Father's Day? I remember it being cold. Father's Day was just recently. Couldn't have been Father's Day. It was some holiday. It was cold out. This guy was sweating bullets. He's having a conversation with me. I think I took a soda from Domino's, drank it, gave it to him. I said, "Dude, how are you sweating right now?" "Oh, I'm sweating all the time. I'm really hot. I'm just really hot. They talk really fast." He was on some sort of amphetamine for sure. Can't be sweating bullets like that without being, yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's something interesting about the board game. I'm telling you, there's something interesting about the board game. My subscribers have been going up every time I post about it. But you're just saying that it's the live. You're just saying it's the live. It's not so good. I don't want I don't want it to be true. I don't want it to be true that that's what it really is. And that I was so hyped about the board game being the playtesting. Now I have to be chaotic. Be chaotic. How am I going to be chaotic when I'm on the base? I was looking up this job that I got. 68D, operating room specialist. So the job is you're prepping the OR, working with the surgeon, handing them tools. I read online one guy, you might get a surgeon here or there that'll let you suture the patient. That's pretty cool. I'd be down with that. I'd be down with some suturing. I hope I don't. It would suck if I got in there and then I saw the open chest cavity of somebody and couldn't handle it. That would blow. That would definitely blow. It seems pretty cool though. And the Army has this, well, it's just the military in general. It's got this program called EMDP2. I don't know what the EM, something military, preparatory, I think. And then the 2 stands for 2 years to become a doctor. If toys and games are a bad business, I think being a doctor is pretty solid business. And I don't know. My mom today, after her procedure, was saying, you know how much this procedure cost the insurance? $600. And the doctors here do 14 of them a day. She then said, let's just speculate and say that they get paid the $600 for the 14 procedures that they're doing a day. So that's 600 times 14, which I think comes out to be 8,000 something, right? 8,400 around there. I know it's less. I think it's got to be less than 10,000. Let's see here. Hold up. Calculator. What I say? 600 times 14 equals, 8,400. There's no way they're getting paid that. Let's say times 5. Yeah, there's no way. Maybe not though. I think doctors are getting paid a lot, right? They're getting, let's say they get paid $150 an hour, which I think is a legitimate hourly rate for them, for some of them. I've heard of lawyers that get paid $700 an hour. Okay, 150 times, I don't know, you work an 8-hour day times, let's say you work 5 days a week. Yeah, $6,000. $6,000 a week is not much to, that's a lot. And I think that's lowballing it. $24,000 a month. If you made $150 an hour, worked 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. After a month, you'd make $24,000. Anyway, so my mom was telling me, wow, these people are making, and I'm sort of looking at her like, what are you talking? Thanks. Oh, the doctor makes a lot, obviously. Anyway. Yeah, it just seems like a very strong opportunity. You're there. They're going to pay for college, so you don't have any of the debt. You've got the military thing, which all the schools are looking for that. You get to shadow. You get whatever. It says you up. You be a doctor. Get paid $150 an hour. Come on, let's go. But doctors have a pretty high rate of offing themselves, which is kind of scary. But I think it's probably because you work really hard and then you get to the end and you do what I just did right there, where you look up the money and then you get there and you make the money and you buy the 2 houses and you're sitting there and you're saying, wait a second, was any of this worth it? This is like that guy I was talking about Later, he was an MIT, went to MIT, became a neurosurgeon. Left after 8 years of doing it, or 5 years of doing it. I think it was pretty short, maybe 5. Said I didn't like it. It didn't make me feel great. I don't know what I was doing there. Questionable. Maybe it's all questionable, though. I recently, I didn't read it. I read some of it. Albert Camus, these essays they did about absurdity, life being absurd, living life, the whole concept. That was pretty interesting. Of course, at some point I said, well, if it's all so absurd, isn't it pretty absurd that I'm reading about the absurdity of it? Maybe writing this book was absurd. Ugh. And then you chase the money. Okay, if you had all the money that you wanted, money is not, it's not a problem. What are you doing? What's the perfect life? I've been asking myself that. If I keep searching for this thing, because I just told you the story. Oh, I did this all because it was easy to make money, apparently, right? And then it turned out to not be that easy. And I haven't made any money. You get it all to do what? How are you living? What is it? Is it so that I can do nothing? Or is it so that I can do anything? And what is the anything that you want to do? Is it about traveling? Because if it's about traveling doesn't cost you much. There's this out of JFK. It's called Norwegian Air, I think. And you can get a plane ticket one way to England for $150. That's not a lot. You go to England, I don't know where you would stay. But let's say there and back, it's $300. $300 is not too expensive. $300 to go stay at a place really cheap, or maybe you don't. Maybe I don't know where you would stay. You could probably find some cheap places. Okay. This website called couchers.org, or there are others. You go on there, you make a profile, and it's just regular people that host travelers, and they host you for free. There's no money exchange. So you could get the $300 ticket, go to Europe, go stay and couch surf. You pay for food. I'm sure the host will give you something to eat. And then you fly back. So there, you've got travel, and you don't need a whole lot of money to necessarily do that. I don't know. I like making the games, though. I think it's turned into I think I kept going with it because it is interesting. And making the toy was really interesting. And it's very cool. And to look at the prototype is also very cool. You know, it's not with me, it's at my dad's, but you can pick it up, you plug it in, you pull it apart, boom, it plays. And that's interesting. Getting the millions of views. I guess that was curious. All the roasting wasn't pleasant. The roasting was not pleasant, but going viral was really very interesting because it taught me how worthless going viral is. Unless you have something that you're, well, okay, I take that back. Maybe I take that back. It's worthless if you're not reaching your goal. Like I was trying to make money off of it, and then I went viral, and then the toy wasn't picked up. Here had a meeting with Spin Master, and nothing happened. And was very, very, very interesting. This is what happened on the TikTok. So I made the videos as my journey of making the toy, posted it, and had this idea because I was going on to their websites and they all have these inventor portals where you can submit an idea and then they'll pick it up. Which at some point I realized I don't even know why they have these because they're never picking it up. Because I built a fully functioning prototype, had these views, and then they still didn't message me back. But the idea was, well, if I alone cannot do it, then I'll have this community help me. So I made the video that I knew was going to probably do well because I had done well before, and I started to say in the comments, comment at Spin Master, and so people were throughout the comments tagging Spin Master. And that video at this point has 91,000 likes. So I got all those people to comment to at Spin Master because I was like, well, I'll just fill their notifications with my video. And then at some point they commented, hey, we'd like to talk or send us an email or something, whatever it was. Okay, cool. I'll send the email. Then this guy, Dougal Grimes, I had the meeting with, and he was the inventor relations guy at Spin Master at the time. And I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't know how to pitch. I didn't know what I was supposed to be pitching because I already felt like I had pitched, right? Here's the video that did well. Here's the community of people that I asked to contact you, and they did it. How many more? What do you need from me? What more do you need? I don't get why I need to keep making more. You only know of me because of the freaking video. Oh, I think I sent them the video, or I sent them some video, and then I sent them the video. I don't even think the guy looked at it. He asked me for it. Then we're in the meeting, and I don't even think he looked at the video prior to having the meeting with me. I think he was just in the meeting and then looking at the video. You know, I don't know if I felt dismissed. It felt rough. So I didn't know how to pitch. I didn't know what I was pitching. I didn't know why I was pitching. It was like, if you go and watch Dan Klitzner's videos, and that's the guy who made Bop It. So he didn't have a functioning prototype. There was no Bop It that you could play with. He didn't go to the company. He had a phone version, and then he had a voice recording of Bop It, Pull It, Twist It, and he was on camera, and he clicks play, or a friend clicks play while it's recording him, and he says, okay, this is Bop It, whatever, Bop It. It was really smart. I imagine he doesn't know how to code, and recording a voice and then making a toy around that was a really smart way of avoiding needing to learn how to do any of that technical stuff. So he didn't have a prototype. Um, and in the meeting, I didn't necessarily know what I was doing with the pitch. I mean, am I supposed to tell you how much it cost me? Am I supposed to tell you, here's my prototype? Am I supposed to send you the prototype? I don't know if I had the prototype at the time. Or I must have. You don't have the prototype. Should I be telling you who my audience is? Should I be telling you, uh, what am I supposed to be doing here? The pitch is, does the game look fun? It looks however it looks. I think it looks relatively fun. I had a broker who was the reason that I even did that toy, was while I was working at Domino's, that I came up with the idea and was sending it to the broker, who told me, hey, this is good. So I had confirmation from a broker. I had confirmation from the people. What do you pitch at that point? What am I saying in the video that hasn't, what am I saying in the meeting that hasn't already been said in the video, in the social proof? I remember him showing me failures that Spin Master had done, which I thought was pretty weird. The only one that comes to mind that sticks with me is this sausage. He showed me some of these pictures, and it was a sausage with a face on it. All these kids holding the sausage. And he said, this one didn't do well, probably for its phallic resemblance. And that's what he said, phallic resemblance. As all the kids are grabbing onto the sausage with the face. Which personally for me was a little concerning, because I thought, well, if these people are willing to consider this, that might be questionable from the beginning. I mean, with all of my toys and games that I've always made, if there's ever a cylinder in the game, in the toy somehow, I always try to think of a way to change that shape. Never use a cylinder, because I think, obviously, we all know what cylinders look like. So you have to avoid them at all costs. So that was questionable. And then lastly, and I guess he knew where he was going to save this for the meeting. I'm sure I'm not the first one that he's dealt with. Was saying you have to. So if you're in England, you have to have sold at least $350,000 worth of units in order for us to consider the toy. And if you're in America, because America is larger, you have to sell at least $750,000 worth of units. Which was interesting. And I thought, why did we even have the meeting? I mean, you did the PR where you said whatever you said in the comments, you acknowledged it. You didn't even have to really follow through with all of this. You certainly could have sent me an email and said, have you sold 750,000? No, we were not going to consider it. It's very interesting. So you have to have already sold. And here's the big lesson. You have to have already sold. You have to already be successful. Now, I don't know when for them to be willing to take it. Now, I don't know when this changed, because I was always so confused at this. Because I thought Dan Klitzner didn't sell Boppets before. It's an unbelievable amount of effort. based on what I knew of licensing a toy, a new IP, it's a lot to be asking the inventor to do everything. I went to a different broker after they rejected me. A little while later, I went to a different broker. And I remember speaking to him in a meeting, and he said to me, "Oh, you built the whole thing. You built the prototype." I said, "Yeah, and it works. It plays. It's like a regular toy." He said, he's told me you did too much. You did way too much. You should have never built that. Why'd you build that?" Now, the reason I built that, yeah, I guess that's other. I lost so much money. I lost so much money to this company, and this is pretty wacky, but several months ago, the FBI called me to discuss this company that I lost a bunch of money to that was for building the toy Oglo. Pretty wild stuff. Okay. Well, I think that's it. I think we did our thing. We got nobody. Okay, everybody. Whoever's watching this as a VOD, I'll see you later. Have a good one. I get it. It's pretty freaking late. Talk to you soon.